Hello, Huang Wenjun. Yes. We are very happy to have you today with us, and having this interview is such a privilege. Thank you for your time. First of all, we always give 1 minute to our interviewee to talk about her show. So you have 1 minute to present your show to the camera, to your audience.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Wenjun, and it's my first time to come to Avignon. It was a wonderful city, and this time I'm come from Taiwan, and this time I bring the piece called The Lost Connection, and this piece is talking about the head down culture. I think right now everyone is using phone a lot, and I just wanted to present the idea about how we using the phone, and everyone when they watch their phone and how their body a gesture will look like, and just make it everything exaggerate, become a dance piece. So we have some elements from a cell phone lights, because in the theater the lights from the very outside, but the cell phone lights are just in front of you, and you will be very focused on your face only. And also we use element about the costume, the clothes. It feel like it's your second skin. It's like when you go into your phone, you will so concentrate on the phone, so it cause your sensation will be close. Sometimes you don't hear other things, you don't see other things. So we use the costume to cover the face. We're doing some duet, not really direct touch the body. It's through the costume to control the other person, the other dancers. So I think it creates some very interesting movement in the theater. I wish everyone, it's dance is really hard to explain. You really to go into the theater and to watch this piece, maybe you can feel you are on the stage. That's why when you watch your cell phone.
Thank you so much. So I divided this interview into 2 parts. Yeah. First, I would like to talk about you a little bit so people will know you better, and then about your show. Could you tell us how, because your company, so Seed Dance Company, was created in 2008, right? Yeah. So it's almost 20 years. Congrats, that's great. And could you tell us a little bit about it? How did you create this company? What is the gestures? It's mostly contemporary, but how did you come up with your style of dancing?
The Sea Dance Company, actually, when I start to name this company's name, I was thinking a sea is very strong, and you're full of energy, and you put in the ground, you will grow up the different kind of trees. So I was thinking everybody, they have different power in their body. So when they come into this company, they can show out how they have it. When they go into they will grow up in different trees. So that's why I'm thinking about seed. And actually, our company was located in south of Taiwan. So if you only notice of Taiwan, you only notice of Taipei. But we are in Taipei is the north. We are in the southeast of Taiwan, and it's very countryside at first, because in my hometown we are lack of the arts. So that's why I start to think about how about we start a company here. So around the village, their kids, they can notice what is a dance and what is a contemporary dance. So we start to build up the work there, and now we travel in the world. So I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I think you should be happy. You do deserve this, and it's great seeing Taiwanese companies. We're very happy to discover it this year because we know little about it, let's be honest, in the West. Okay, and so let's pass to the show. So you're using the term phobbing. Could you please tell us a little bit more about phobbing, how it inspired you for Lost Connection, and what is your understanding of it, and how do you interpret the word?
I didn't know about the Western, but in Taiwan, the young kid, they use the phone a lot. When I start to work on this piece, that's because I influenced by my dancers. When we eat together, when we waiting for the meal, all the dancers, they are watching their phone. And I was thinking that was really interesting when they watch their phone and they are not talking. And it was the moment is so strong because everyone doing the exactly same movement. It's just like when you're doing the dance rehearsal, every dancer was doing the same movement. You will feel like, wow, this this is like a really strong power inside that piece. So it's the same when we just do it, like we didn't say nothing, and the dancer was like immediately everyone take their phone out and they was just watch their phone for a while. And when I was when sometimes when we stay longer in the rehearsal, we will sleep together. And sometimes I will call my dancers, like I will go to their room and to ask them something. Their lights turn off already, but everyone has their cell phone lighting on their face. So I think, wow, that was so interesting to see the lighting on the face. It was so focused only in the face. So I was thinking like these things maybe we can try on the stage. So everything is like come off on the life. So I think it's like when I work with younger generation, I learn from their body. I learn from their young culture. I think it's interesting now. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, in the gist of what is happening right now in the world of how people are using it. And when I came to your piece yesterday, I saw this beginning where the light goes only on the face. And it is exactly what I was thinking of, these moments in the dark with some friends, sometimes in the car, going back late home. And you could see in the mirror in the back of the car, someone just the face lighting up. So it works really, really great. And you were saying also about the posture, which I think is very interesting, because the beginning of your show is almost like movement in non-movement, right? Yeah. Because they're moving but not that much, and everything is in the posture. So maybe you could talk about this, how choreographically you were building this.
Yeah. I think in Taiwan we are like a very crowd city, so sometimes it's interesting when the sound like when you hear like a then you will notice that is line, or you can hear zing. That will be like maybe like a Netflix or something. You can recognize for the sound. And sometimes when you waiting or you sitting on the subway so close, sometimes people's phone, they was watching some video, you will try to like peek a little bit. So I was just thinking that this kind of movement, it was really interesting. I just make it like exaggerate on the stage for dancer they are. So I really like to watching people what they are doing like in the normal life, and just put everything in the stage, because I think that is more easier for people to recognize and they feel it. Because sometimes people will think a dance is like far away, like they don't really understand. But when you're doing something like it just like everyone's normal life, I think people will think that was so close to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. So also, you define yourself as performer mostly, right? And you do a lot of performances also in Taiwan. And I was wondering, could you tell us a little bit about how performance and performative art is received by the audience in Taiwan?
Sorry, you mean it's like how?
Like, do people come? Is there any audience for it? Do they enjoy performance?
Oh yeah.
Because, for example, for instance, in Japan or in Korea, I know that from interviews with other artists, they were saying that there was a very little community of audience going to performance. Theater, dance, okay, but not performance, like performative art. So how was it in Taiwan?
Yeah, I mean, for my city, actually, that's one thing is interesting when I see this because we perform in the CDCN, and when I see the audience seat, I was like a little bit shocked because it's a lot of audience seat, and I was like, wow, how people gonna come to this theater. And when the first show going, I was like, oh my God, really people coming to see the performance. I was so happy. Go back to Taiwan. I mean, in Taipei, when we perform in Taipei, really like audience, they just come to see the show. But in my hometown, it's like a little bit harder. In south of Taiwan, in Pingtung, it's like a little bit difficult. But I'm teaching in a university. And so I teach in the dance department. So actually I teach everywhere. So actually for me, it's kind of quite not easy, but I'm lucky to get more audience to come to see my show. But in Taiwan, we have a lot of really, really good contemporary dance company. We have a lot and a lot. And actually this time we have like 4 different company that come. Yeah. They are all wonderful company. And I think we are located in different city. I think every city was really, really different. But actually in Taiwan, lucky Taiwan is really small. So we travel to everywhere to perform. So, different country, we get different audience. And every audience, they sing arts differently. So, yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit, maybe where did you travel with this show, and how did you get any specific audience that marked you specifically, or that you remember because it was weird, or they were too into it, or not enough into it, or something like this?
Yeah, actually, this piece was touring in Taiwan, so many places like Taipei, National Theater, and also Taichung, and also Pingtung, Tainan, and also before we came here, we went to Sweden. We're doing this piece too, and Edinburgh, and so. Exactly, we're doing a lot of time this piece, and I think most of the audience was thinking they never think about how the flashlight you can use like that and how you use the costume. The one thing is everyone was asking the costumes brand, the brand of the costume, where you get this costume.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah,
So
I did think about
yeah. The small one was like everyone was like, oh, once we was in Edinburgh, the audience was like, I have the same one as you. They pulled out. It's Uniqlo. I said, yeah, it's Uniqlo. That's so funny. Yeah. So I said, I have the same customer as you guys. So I said, yeah, take it off and dance together with. So that's a funny thing. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
But this thing about, so it brings us to the costume, which is a great transition, because I wanted to talk about it obviously too. The second skin, I'm happy I got it. So I think you did a great job, because we understand it.
Yeah.
Which is the point probably of any choreographer, if you want to pass a message. And how did this second skin? How did you just went to Uniqlo and found it, or were you searching for a moment for this costume to find exactly the way you needed it to be? What was the process with that?
Yeah, exactly. We find different custom. We find a lot of custom and different brand, and we just test the texture. And also the big one is from Giordano. It's the other brand, the big one, Giordano. And actually they don't have the color I really want, so I just buy the white one and we dye it by ourselves. We search the color and we dye it by ourselves. So it's like take us a lot of time to find it, because it's sometimes we need a large size, but large size will cost too long, so we have to cut it down. Actually, so we was doing a lot of work on that costume actually. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. There was also craft in the costume by you and the dancers, right? Okay, and I would like to ask you too, how, in a more choreographic sense and dancing sense, and how you builded it. How did you work? Was it through improvisation? Did you have very specific ideas of how people would get into the skin and out of it? With the light, I really enjoyed the light that's going through the skin and how they dig into it. So what was the process with that?
Actually, this piece was when I done this piece. It's like a 2015, like a 2015. It's like a long, but when I done this piece at first, it was like a really short piece. It's only 20 minutes. So at the first, we don't have that much custom, and actually we developed the movement more and more. And the flashlight, I think, is come like a later on, like a 2020, we start to add the flashlight. Like this piece is kind of like we try to aid when I feel like something I think is interesting to put in this piece. We try to aid on. And actually, this piece originally has a huge wall in the back. The dancer, they actually the climbing inside the wall and outside. We feel like a scream. So the screen, like they have some like the wall can like divide, like it becomes several pieces, but because the prop is too big, so it's hard to travel. Mm-hmm. So in Edinburgh, actually this version is when we get selected into the Edinburgh, I try to make this piece become only 4 dancers. So originally this piece is 8 dancers. So it's a bigger piece and with huge props. So actually it was like this piece is like I try to change and change and change in so many times, and it's been like almost like 2015 until now. It's almost like 10 years, 10 year, more than 10 years piece. So actually, it changed a lot.
Okay, so I love those kind of pieces that live through time, and they have their own evolution, and you're adding things. You kind of answered my next question, which was the wall, because I saw on the internet some short videos with the wall, and I was wondering that you had to adapt so much, because without, like, the wall seems to be a very important also decoration of your piece. I would also like to talk about the sound and the music generally that I absolutely loved, and the silences, because you put some silences. How did you process with the sound, with music? Did you work with a friend, or did you dig your music?
Actually, yes, I work with the sound music and with the musician, and he called Ino, Chen Ino. He was an amazing guy, and actually, we put a lot of sound, like also the how can I say, it's like when people like watching some people was eating, or like they touch the thing.
ASMR.
Oh yeah, as well. Yes. That was like I actually originally we ate a lot of this kind of sound, but I think sometimes it's too much. So actually we was like changing a lot for the sound, and I think it just when people like they watching the screen, like sometimes I think that people use the headset a lot, the headset.
Yeah.
So when they really listen to music, they're really into it. So I was have a lot of bouncing thing. When we listen to music, the body had a lot of bouncing thing. And also you have a lot of happies, like, you're doing some rhythmic, like with through your body. So actually we're choosing electronic music. So I think it's more like right now how people they hear mostly, and it just want to cause something is like immediately change. Like like sometimes I see people watching their cell phone. They watch the thread or they watch Instagram. It's like a very short piece, and they just slide out each piece. They will slide out. So when we're doing the lighting thing, I was doing like a the snap light, like suddenly go to the space. Yeah. Yeah. It feel like I feel like sometimes this part and sometimes this part it doesn't connect very well, because each screen they didn't connect. Each video they didn't connect. So and suddenly I want to put it a very long silence. I feel like when sometimes like you turn off your cell phone, or you suddenly sometimes the phone it doesn't work, you feel like whole world is like becomes so silent. It's like what happened now? It doesn't work. So I was just put a little bit like a longer silence in between the piece, and I think it's wonderful. Always when the silence come, I feel so strong, because the whole inside the theater, everyone was so quiet and going to the other music again. I like that feeling a lot. Whenever that stop.
So I think it really works for the audience, and I think also that I saw like a parallel with this lost connection. Absolutely, what you're saying, that your phone is gone, and you're like, and now nothing, like you're feeling kind of lost without it. Today, people feel lost without it. Okay, and what was my next question? Because you're answering sometimes, which is so interesting. I love this discussion. Yeah. Okay. Would you say that in this piece you privileged technique or feeling, or both at the same time?
I think both of the same time. I think right now how people they like is the same like how they watch the video. They like something interesting. So for the movement, I try to like make something like interesting, like people never think about. So when you see this piece, you can feel the speed. Actually, it's fast, and but I also want the people to feel something about it. So how the touch and how the dancer they lost their eye contact, and also in the end of the piece when the hand reach the light go off, the suddenly everything become dark. I really feel like I want the audience to feel something. But I don't think that that's a everything is okay for me. Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe that brings me also to ask you, how could you explain, I don't know, a random day in the studio with your dancers? You come into the studio, and how does you probably have a bar or technique first, or how do you process? Because I think it's interesting for people in France, we have a very different way of practicing also, but at the same time, yesterday another Taiwanese choreographer was saying that in Taiwan there's a lot of Western oriented practice of dance. So what your training looks like?
I think for me, when I go into the studio, because I learn in dance, actually in Taiwan, my dance training is not really long because when I started to learning dance is when I was like 16. And when I age 21, I started in New York. Yeah, and I graduated from the Tisch. So it's like the other time when I learning dance actually is in the other place. So I mean I influence both sides, and I think Taiwanese dancers, they all has like a different body gesture, like because we have like a martial arts, and we also have contemporary dance. We also have folk dance. We have so many different kind of things. But it's interesting, like when I go into the studio, because I was telling people like because I learning dance so late, so I don't have that much flexible body. So when but I'd like to play body, like I like to play with the dancers. So I always come into the studio when I think about something. I would say, let's go. We play something together, and we have fun. For like I would think about a costume, and I will buy a lot. I will buy a lot of costume. The t-shirt. I say, let's play with this t-shirt, and we find out some way, and we show everyone's ideas. Then I will just like select and eliminate like a limited something, and put everything together, and we try out together. Yeah. So actually, everything, I think that the dance is fun for me. It's like always we play, and we make the piece together with my dancers. Yes.
That is great, which is a great choreographer that can say that you are open to your dancers' ideas. So thank you very much for this. Yeah. Thank you for the interview. And for our audience, you should absolutely go see Lost Connection of Huang Wenjian at Les Hivernales every day, right at 12. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.